If you ever tried communicating a project plan to stakeholders and leadership, you already know the pain. Tools like Excel, Project, even Smartsheet, they give you the data you need, but they don't really give them the clarity they need. That's where timelines and Gantt charts come in. An experienced project manager doesn't just use these visuals for tracking, they use them for aligning people. Leadership gets clarity, teams get priorities, clients get confidence all in one go. But when the timeline visuals are hard to follow, they don't serve any of those goals. And when work keeps stacking up and deadlines are tight and ever-changing, spending hours fine-tuning visuals just isn't an option. That's why we've decided to take one complex set of project data and run it through the top 6 timeline maker tools Google came up with to see what each of them can do and how easy they are to use. So let's dive right in. Canva is a heavyweight when it comes to creating visuals, and there's a good chance that your organization already has access to it. It offers beautiful templates, great design control, and an intuitive editor. It's fast for marketing visuals and client-facing infographics, but it lacks the specific functionalities that make creating project timelines easy, such as task positions based on start and end dates or proper dependencies. Overall, it's a good fit for simple Gantt charts if you already have access to it, but if you're working on a complex project with lots of moving parts that need to be constantly updated, you might be in for a lot of time-consuming hassle. Office Timeline was built with one purpose in mind: to create exec-ready project visuals fast. Data can be copied and pasted from Excel directly, and it works entirely inside PowerPoint. You can apply a visual theme to quickly change the way the timeline looks, or select each individual element and customize it as much as you want. You can edit the timeline's layout and add dependencies with drag and drop. The free plan is limited to 10 tasks and milestones per timeline. Upgrading to one of the paid plans removes this limitation and also grants access to templates, a planned versus actual feature, as well as robust import integrations with the most common PM tools, which makes setting up and updating timelines when your data changes a matter of just a few clicks. While Office Timeline is not the least expensive option, it definitely has the quickest workflows for creating clear timelines and Gantt charts from even the most complex project data. Lucidchart is known for its flexibility. Diagrams, flowcharts, systems, and yes, even timelines. You get full control over layout, styling, and structure. And while some timeline-specific controls do exist, more advanced automations are still missing. Things such as handling date conflicts for dependencies or highlighting the critical path need to be set up manually. Also, there is a way to set up a direct link between your visuals and the project management tools where your projects live, but it is only available on the highest plans, and adapting it to work for timelines requires some tedious workarounds. Overall, creating and managing complex timelines in Lucidchart tends to be rather time-consuming, especially when project dates change and you have to update each task by hand. However, if visual control is your priority and time is not an issue, you can create some really beautiful timelines. Tiki-Toki is built for interactive, scrollable timelines, more often used for history, journalism, or education. It offers beautiful, media-rich output, but the style leans more towards storytelling rather than status reporting. It lacks important features such as dependencies, different time units such as quarters, and data imports, and the lack of drag-and-drop functionality makes it cumbersome to adjust timelines later on. For external presentations or timeline-based narratives, its options make it visually impressive. But for internal status reviews or exec briefings, it may be less aligned with expectations. Time.Graphics helps with visualizing data in layers. It's built around detail, events, statistics, time blocks, and showing how they all interact with one another. The timelines have a lot of customizability, but the user interface takes a bit of time to learn and lacks the polish and automations that allow for speedy workflows. It does have a Google Sheets import integration, but it lacks project management-specific features such as dependencies and the critical path. Overall, this one's for project managers who need to prioritize depth over speed and simplicity, and have time to spend overcoming a steep learning curve. SmartDraw is a structured, logic-based diagramming tool that can also do timeline visuals. There are barely any templates to pick from, so you will need to start from scratch. The timeline builder is strong with drag and drop functionality that makes it rather intuitive to move tasks or milestones around, and there are some basic visual customization options, as well as a pretty robust dependencies feature. SmartDraw also does not allow you to mix both tasks and milestones in a single visual natively, because it considers Gantt charts and milestone timelines as separate types of visuals. It does allow you to import data directly from Excel files, but only for milestone timelines, not for Gantt charts. Overall, the manual data entry can be rather time-consuming if you're working on a Gantt chart-type visual, and the limited layout and visual customization options mean that your visuals will look clean and simple, but not really as presentation polished as other options in this list. Still, the available timeline templates will feel very familiar to any project manager, and the user interface is intuitive, so SmartDraw definitely scores big points in the ease of use department. So there you have it. Each tool has its strengths. Some focus on visual design, others on speed and ease of use, and some on interactivity. Choosing the right timeline maker depends on your project's complexity, how often things change, and how fast you need to communicate updates to stakeholders and leadership. Hopefully, this comparison gave you a clearer picture of what each tool can and can't do, so you can spend less time battling your visuals and more time driving your project forward. So, which timeline makers have you enjoyed using so far? Let us know in the comments below, and maybe we'll do a follow-up video if enough people are interested. Subscribe to stay tuned, and thank you for watching.